Yo, what is up, YouTube? It's Frontz, and we're back again with a new WWE pay-per-view review. This time it's WWE PayBack, which just went off the air with an really interesting finish, but we'll get to that in a minute. We're going to start off with the pre-show and just get through all these matches. We're going to go through them all, seeing what was match of the night, what was worst match of the night if there was one, and shocker of the night, and other stuff like that. But first, we start off in the pre-show with Enzo and Cass versus the Club, which was a Who Cares match. He took two. I don't know how. Like, was anyone really care about this match? Really, Enzo and Cass was at the Club. I mean, these two tag teams debuted after the night after WrestleMania 32, and somehow WWE has took all the care that anybody had in either one of these teams, and we lost it all. Enzo and Cass pick up the win. Maybe they have a tag team title match in the future against the Hardys, or um, yeah. After that, you had Miz TV with Finn Balor, which Miz gave him a heck of an introduction, which is not normal for Miz because he usually likes to make fun of his um, his guests before they come out. But out comes Finn Balor. They have a little bit of a jawing back and forth. Miz tries to goad Finn Balor on, and Finn Balor wasn't gonna have any of that. And he's like, Finn's pretty much like, every episode of Miz TV is the same. You get your butt kicked after you egg somebody on, so I'm gonna leave. He's about ready to exit the ring. Miz takes offense to that because Finn said you're not worth it, and ends up getting hit with a sling blade and a kick to the um into his turnbuckle. And that's the pre-show. Moving on to the regular show, we had Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho for the WWE United States Championship. Winner goes to SmackDown, and in a shocking match, in a shocking result, with after a very, very good match, which I would like to deem match of the night, but there were other ones better. We had Jericho win the match. So Jericho's going to SmackDown, even though this is supposed to be his last pay-per-view for this current run when he goes on the Fozzy. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do there. And does that mean Kevin Owens goes back to Monday Night Raw? That tomorrow is going to be a really interesting for that. And Tuesday as well to see what they do with Chris Jericho and the United States Championship. Next up, we had Austin Aries versus Neville in what was a really good match, better than I believe the WrestleMania match. Aries wins by DQ when he had Adrian Neville in the last chancery, and Adrian Neville grabs the ref and throws him over, gets hit with DQ. So they're kind of building it up to where Austin Aries will eventually probably topple Neville with the last chancery because he's had him in it twice. First got his eyes raked, then the referee gets pulled over. So Neville's pretty much making it seem like he can't be beat, but like this move will beat him if all is said and done. Then came what I believe was the match of the night, which was the Hardys versus Cesaro and Sheamus for the Raw Tag Team Championship. In a very good match between these two tag teams, I could see them, especially what happens after the match. Continuing on to what is going to be the next pay-per-view. I'm not going to mention that name, but in the Hardys win in a really good match. Then they shake hands. The Hardys go over to the Cesaro and Sheamus and shake their hands. Everything looks cool and everything. The Hardys are up on the turnbuckles celebrating, and then the heel turn, which was much needed for Cesaro and Sheamus because we have the Hardys, Enzo and Cass, if you want to count them as your big face tag teams, and you really don't have a heel tag team that anyone cares about. So this was definitely needed. They literally broke the Hardys. Literally broke the Hardys. Then comes the women's championship match, Alexa Bliss versus Bayley in Bayley's hometown, which this was definitely a shocker too because Alexa Bliss wins and becomes the first woman to ever hold the Raw Women's title and the SmackDown Women's title in history. We know that SmackDown Women's title has only been around for like 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, something like that, and the Raw Women's title's only been around for like a year and a month. But really nasty looking spot at the end, which definitely was planned. They made it look so good. Like Bayley goes for a sit down pin, gets shot off into the turnbuckle post, which looks like it would do a lot damage more now than it would back in the day, but it was good. Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt for House of Horrors is up next, with the winner being able to reclaim of being a master of the House of Horrors. Which this match was shite. May I say, it was shite. This match was pretty much started off as House of Horrors, was a little bit more reminiscent of the Broken Hardys from TNA Impact, and the first half at least, where Randy shows up at this house in a limo, goes into a house, they brawl for a little bit. Brian gets the upper hand, beats the heck out of him a little bit, then gets hit with some kind of vase or something and goes off. Randy Orton goes looking for him, gets into this room with a bunch of baby dolls, swinging them, like just being tied up, and not like the way they did that was just creepy as can be. Bray eventually, the brawling all continues around the house, and eventually Bray throws his fridge onto Randy Orton and gets in, like, walks out of the house, does his follow the buzzards, and the light changes to red. Woo! Because nothing says scary than red lighting. Woo! We'll get back to, like, Bray gets in the limo and says, "Driver, take me to the arena." So we'll get back to that after we get to the next match, because that doesn't finish till after the next match, which is Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe. In what I figured this match was going to go exactly how it did. Seth and him go back and forth. Seth favoring the knee over and over and over again, and Seth winning with a sneaky roll up sort of pinning combination, even though, and what I'm real surprised was, because Joe got beat but didn't start beating him down like you figured he would. He was just like in the shock, and Seth Rollins was able to get out of the way before anything happened, and that was that. And then of course we get back to the House of Horrors match. Bray Wyatt shows up in the arena looking all disheveled and beat down and everything, gets to the ring, music's playing, all that stuff, turns the lights off, has his hand raised up in the air, lights come back on, Randy Orton's behind him with the chair, beating him down with the chair, one after another after another. Then he goes outside the ring a little bit. Randy Orton looks to have this one won with a couple hits here and there. Then out of nowhere come the Singh brothers when Randy Orton's looking to go for the RKO, and they really don't do nothing. They are lackeys, of course. So one gets thrown out of the ring, the other one gets hit with the catch power slam, leads to Randy Orton hitting an RKO, looking like he's just about to beat Bray Wyatt, when Jinder Mahal with the WWE Championship from behind. Jinder Mahal starts like egging the crowd on to boo him and everything. Hits Randy again. Randy gets hit with a Sister Abigail, and that's the end of that match. Then comes the main event: Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns, and oh boy, was this a brutal match. This one I figured would have been a match of the night if it wasn't for the fact that the Hardys and Sheamus and Cesaro had a great match early on in the night, but Braun Strowman does go over after beating up on Roman Reigns, with Roman trying all his might to do everything. What they're trying to do here is get the sympathy card from the fans, which Roman Reigns did get a lot more cheers coming out than he usually does. Maybe it's because they were in San Jose and not in like Chicago, New York, Philly, one of those places where he would be heavily booed. But then came the end of the match, where Roman gets hit with two running power slams after kicking out of the first one, gets pinned 1, 2, 3. Braun goes out, grabs the steel steps, the top part, puts him on the side, picks Roman up, drops him on the stairs, and then gets picked. Then when he's laying on the ground, he picks up the stairs, stands over him, and just whacks it on his chest, causing what I believe was a pack of like fake blood or anything. If it was real blood, then boy, he's got some problems. But like, the whole time this is going on, and afterwards you hear the crowd chanting, "Thank you, Strowman, and you deserve it," towards Reigns. So any idea that they thought this was going to help get fans behind Roman Reigns when he eventually gets that win back and gets the rubber match going, that he's going to get cheered and everything, that is a massive mistake by the WWE. Like, they've tried over and over and over to get Roman Reigns over, and it just hasn't worked. No matter what they do, unless they turn Roman Reigns heel and go the Rock route, where because Roman, that's another thing. Roman doesn't have the charisma of a John Cena, of a Rock, of a Stone Cold to get himself over. He needs to be the silent badass that he was in the Shield, and why people liked him at that time. Roman just doesn't have what the WWE needs. What they've been trying to do is clone John Cena, and it just hasn't worked. And that's a mistake. A massive, massive mistake that they need to fix if they want to actually have Roman do anything. Because what they have right now with Roman Reigns is just not working, and it's not gonna work. Well, that was WWE Payback. I would say match tonight, of course, was Sheamus and Cesaro versus the Hardy Boys for the WWE Tag Team Championship. I think the way the beatdown went, this could possibly lead to the Broken Hardys coming back maybe tomorrow night on Raw, because they just took a beating. They took a massive beating. Jeff lost a tooth during the match. Matt was busted wide open, and they just literally took a massive beating that could probably lead to the Broken Hardys, which would be great. Which worst match of the night, I believe, was the entire House of Horrors match, which I'm pretty sure anyone thought that would be a terrible match of the night. Shocker of the night, of course, was Kevin Owens losing the United States Championship to Chris Jericho, who I figured was going to lose the match and then go off to do Fozzy for the next 6, 7, 8 months. Okay, you could say, and this, I guess you can also say it was kind of shocking that Alexa Bliss, but not really much of a shock that Alexa Bliss won the women's title too, because that's just how that goes. Overall, I'd have to give Payback I'd say about an an 8.9 out of 10, because it was a really good pay per view. Other than the House of Horrors match, which I knew that was just gonna be garbage. That was them just trying to give everyone what Broken Hardys were in TNA with two other people instead, and it's just not gonna work that way. Okay, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for this. I'll be back for Backlash on the 21st of May. And other videos will be coming soon to my YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you later.